somebody wrote this article. I guess the website is Two Left Sticks. They did this little top 10 list. Never heard of them before, but it just kind of caught my eye because, I'm a boxing fan and I'm a WMMA fan, right? So this list puts both of them together here. And I've talked about this on my channel before. Some of the best WMMA fighters, some of the best boxers in WMMA. For example, like Chicago and Grazo and Rose. I've talked about this before. But they did a top 10 list here. It says top 10 UFC female boxers in the world 2022. Okay, so I just wanted to go through this list with y'all, give y'all my take on it. I'm going to go through the names and tell you if I think they should be on there or not. And then I think I'll give y'all I won't say top 10, but I'm going to give you 10 boxers. I'm going to give you 10 WMMA fighters that I think are some of the top level boxers. If they're the best, I'm not sure. I'm going to just do mine off top, though. But let me go through this list here first. So top 10 UFC female boxers in the world in 2022. This is who they have. All right. Let's start with number 10. All right, number 10, they have Aspen Lad on this list. And right away, I'll say no. Disagree with that one already. Aspen Lad, number 10. She may be at the bottom, but I don't think she should be on this list. Like, I've never really been impressed with Aspen Lad as a boxer or, her boxing fundamentals. Now, as a striker, MMA striker, I think she's okay. I think she's, one of the bantamweights that has been working toward being well-rounded, but I never really, was wowed by her jab or wowed by her footwork in there. Like she was really putting on a boxing clinic ever. I always thought she fought well in close quarters, a bit of a brawler, but more of a ground fighter, good, strong grappler, physically strong, good wrestling. But as a boxer, I never really was impressed with her jab or her distance management or anything like that, or her punch selection. Doesn't really have a great deal of knockouts or anything like that, right? Where she's just knocking people out with one-hitter quitters. And for those reasons, yeah, I've never even considered putting her on there on the list. But two of the main reasons, GDR and Rocky Pennington. Let's go back to that GDR fight. I mean, some of the things she was doing in that fight was very amateurish. I mean, you don't just run in there head first against GDR. If you're trying to fight a tall, long fighter, you wade your way in, you use some leg kicks, you start to try to set up your overhand right. That's what you want to do, start jabbing low to the body, but you never just run in there head first. I mean, GDR saw that coming, just landed one beautiful right hand and knock her out. Then Rocky Pennington, as of lately, outboxed her well, just beautiful jabs until she hurt her left hand. She just started setting up some nice right hands on Rocky Pennington. So no, can't put her on that list. Oh boy, number 9. They got Carla Esparza on this list. Carla Esparza, professional MMA fighter, it says here, who's known for her wrestling, new strawweight champion, 2-time strawweight champion, a wrestler. Doesn't say anything about her boxing skills, but I'll tell you right now, no boxing skills there. Carla Esparza has just really been developing her striking, which I've talked about in videos over the summer. Carla's developing now. She's developing her right hand. Really just saw her hitting the mitts just a few months back. I think even over the summer, just really starting to look like she's putting power on those shots. But her boxing's never been something to save her, even like in the Tatiana Suarez fight. She was trying to wrestle somebody like Suarez, which if she had boxing, that probably would have helped her, but she didn't. She wasn't really striking in there, so nope. Even against Rose, she was in no way trying to wade her way in, setting up any overhand rights. Landed some good left hooks, but she's never really boxed her way or struck her way to a decision in any of her fights, with this type of fundamentals that you see like Rose or like Joanna or those fighters. So no. Number 8, Holly Holm, I agree with. And this is probably where I would have her on the list. Honestly, I know some people would be surprised, like, what? No, I would have Holly on this list as far as her boxing ability at this point, because I think Holly Holm has done a good well-roundedness as far as how she wins her fights, against, of course, against Ronda Rousey. She used boxing, her movement and everything, her left hands, but she was a good kickboxer, just kickboxing against Ronda Rousey. That's what she used a lot of. But in some of her other fights that she fought against the high-level fighters like Cyborg, Valentina, And Amanda Nunez, her boxing didn't really baffle these fighters. You know, her combinations have become predictable in the UFC. Like, she's not really setting up beautiful counter punches or like even using her jab. Like, even like in this latest fight, you know, her left hand was really off the mark. Like, she was throwing combinations with her head down. You know, we don't recommend that in boxing. You hit with the uppercut that way, right? So Holly, yeah, I would put her down there because, yeah, her footwork is something that's really been saving her a lot in fights. And, yeah, sometimes, you know, she will land some good combinations here and there. But I think that's about where she should be. But even when I look at the fighters that she did beat, she used her wrestling. You know, like Megan Anderson. And even Megan Anderson was piecing her up a little bit. She did, you know, box Irene Aldana a little bit. But she'd take her down and, you know, wrestle her as well. So, Holly, yeah, I would put her on that list. But, yeah, around 8 is where I would have her. Number 7, GDR, I would have her higher. Definitely agree with her being on here. You know, she's a very solid boxer. You know, Muay Thai fighter as well, but boxing, you know, she knows how to use that long jab and 1-2. Like I said, just set up a pretty shot against a brawling type fighter like Lad coming in. Landed some beautiful shots on Juliana Pena as of recently. You know, set up that nice 1-2. Even Holly Holm outboxed Holly Holm and brawled with her. And just turns over beautiful punches. That's why she has that knockout power. You know, she knows how to use her range and her length. You know, so yeah, GDR I would have high up here. You know, she's probably one of the ones that really use those fundamentals because that's what she really depends on. You know, like not really a grappler. She's just really been like getting that stuff together as of lately. But yeah, GDR is really solid on the feet and good fundamentals in boxing. Oh, number 6. Can't believe they have her higher than GDR. But I don't even know why she's on the list too. Like, why? Jessica Andrade. Love Jessica Andrade as an MMA fighter, brawler, killer. Yes, Hulk, all that. Hulk smash, all of that. Boxer? No, never considered her a boxer. Jessica Andrade doesn't even move her head in there. Jessica Andrade don't even commit to a jab and break her opponents down with jabs. She runs in there head first. She's just learning to stalk. She just really learned to cut the octagon off, you know. The way Joanna pieced her up with a jab just shows you that she has no head movement or doesn't know how to counter a jab and doesn't know how to wade her way in like Tyson with her size and frame that she has, right? Rose pieced her up. So, again, like, even whenever you're not seeing the boxing from her, the way other fighters outboxed her shows you that she doesn't have the fundamentals down. Like, that shows you that she doesn't know how to read other fighters that know how to box. Like, even if she chose not to use boxing, it lets you know that she doesn't really use boxing because she doesn't know how to counter what Rose and Joanna did to her, right? She didn't know how to cut off the octagon. She didn't know how to maybe catch with Rose with the left hook as she turned the angle. You know what I mean? So in no way I see Jessica Andrade as a boxer. Very good MMA fighter, but not a boxer. Number 5, great boxer. One of the best pound for pound, but she's not in the UFC, and that's Amanda Serrano. So Amanda Serrano, definitely take her off this list because, yeah, she's not a UFC fighter. WMMA fighter, yes. She's fought for Icon and still don't know if she is coming back, but her boxing hasn't really translated over yet into this world of mixed martial arts. So just an all-around good pound for pound. Definitely probably number 3 in the boxing world, but UFC, of course not. Not in the UFC. Number 4, Zhang Weili. No, I wouldn't put Zhang Weili on this list either. Zhang Weili, like Andrade, I think is just a good MMA fighter as a whole. Good striker, good counter striker, good brawler, good pressure, good wrestler now. You know, she's really been showing more of that. Even before she used to grind a lot, you know. But as far as boxing, don't really see her just commit to like some of the fundamentals, like, again, like, you know, basic jabs, you know. Even against Joanna, you know, I didn't see her really like closing the distance, trying to fight well in the pocket and move her head a lot. So can't put her on the list of boxers. Good MMA fighter as a whole, though. Number 3, yes, I have on this list, Rose Namajunas. You know, I've talked about her game. Definitely think she's one of the top fighters, you know, just because even if it's not top level like a Clarissa Shields or Katie Taylor type of IQ in there, what she's bringing is enough to baffle some of the best fighters, right? You know, she makes those fighters fight a chess match like Zhang Weili and Joanna. You know, her footwork is very tricky. It's zigzaggy for these fighters. Like Rose didn't know Joanna didn't know how to handle it. You know, Joanna didn't know how to handle her timing. You know, the way she was stepping in and out, being out of range for flurries, and then boom, 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 backing her up. And the way she timed the beautiful left hook. Rose turns over punches very nicely. She throws nice punches, and like I said, her footwork is pretty solid. Now, her last fight, I don't know what happened in that fight. You know what I mean? That wasn't a good showing of it. But I think on the regular, a lot of the things she does on her feet, even the way she moves, and when she's shadow boxing, you can tell that she knows her stuff. Definitely knows how to turn angles. Good fundamentals in boxing. Number 2, definitely would have her high on the list, Valentina Shevchenko. A lot of the things that she does, when I first seen her, I said, reminds me of Floyd Mayweather a little bit. Just how she knows how to measure, how she doesn't really overcommit to shots, but she knows how to throw with enough pop to get your respect. It's like Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? Like the way she measures with her eyes and sees the whole picture, it's like Floyd again. Just like the way she can measure range well, see whatever's coming from you, and just like be out of the way and still, be back in time. Then hit you with a good 1-2. She's very good at timing. I think I was riding with Holly to just beat Valentina because, I was more of a Holly fan at the time. But something told me, I was like, I don't know if she will, because Valentina's timing is immaculate. It's great. You know what I mean? So very good timing like a boxer, good distance management. Her 1-2s, good angle turning, just like in the fight with, go back and look at the fight with Jennifer Maia. Great, just all around good skills. Number 1, no. Number 1's a no for me, Amanda Nunez. Last fight is a good example why Amanda Nunez is not a great boxer. She didn't even know how to get out of the way of the jab. Didn't even know how to get out of the way of the jab of Juliana Pena, and did not throw a good jab on Juliana Pena. She just kept looping that same combination, 1-2, that overhand right. Looping that same combination, overhand right. That was it. So can't put Amanda Nunez up here as just like a solid boxer. Just like Andrade and Zhang Weili, good MMA fighter. Good skills from all of these different, combat sports. But as far as fundamentals of a boxer, I don't think she has that type of IQ. Doesn't throw a lot of good straight shots. Like I said, didn't know how to move her head out of the way of the jab of Juliana Pena. Really looked lost when it came down to that. Just really likes to brawl. She's never really just like, baiting fighters with a check left hook or setting up a good solid 1-2. You never just really see her even like doing like Rocky Pennington, jabbing to the body and going back up to the head. Now, what she's doing is working as an MMA champion. But if you were just to have her throw hands, no. So I wouldn't even put her on the list. Amanda Nunez is one of the best boxers. No. So, yeah, that's the list they got up here, guys. Let me know if y'all agree with that. But real quick, I'll give you 10 fighters. I'll give you 10 fighters in the UFC that I think have very good boxing. 10 WMMA fighters that have very good boxing skills, in my opinion, are, first off, in no particular order. Maybe I'll go back and do a video where I actually put them in order. I'll probably do an individual video where I put these ladies in order as who's the number 10 to the best boxer. But I'll give you 10 boxers that I'll give you 10 WMMA fighters off top that I think have pretty good boxing fundamentals. Let's see. Let me see. Okay. Number 1, I'll say Molly Mccann. I think Molly Mccann in the flyweight division, I think that she's a pretty good boxer. I think that her boxing's been getting her through a lot of fights, even with some tough fighters like Priscilla Cachoeira. She's been able to outbox fighters like Jin Kim, Luana Carolina. Lower level fighters, yeah. But, it's the way she moves and she's in and out. She landed some good right hands on Taylor Santos, in and out the game. She's in and out that fight. She knows how to put game on these fighters with the way she turns her punches over and throws these combinations. So, yeah, I know some of y'all argue, okay, Molly McCann's not a top 10 or she's unranked, but I think she definitely has some good things going for her. Like, the more and more she mixes her game up, the boxing will show more. The boxing will show more. She'll start incorporating that when she gets a little bit more confident to be in the inside, when her takedown defense is better and her ground game is better, right? So for me, I think Molly McCann, she throws some pretty good punches, though. Like, she does have a boxing IQ. Next, Alexa Grasso. Y'all heard me talk about Alexa Grasso. Definitely got a good boxing IQ. I'm surprised she wasn't on this list. Very textbook with her stance, her upper body. She's a little bit lighter on her feet just so she's not taken down, and she can still throw kicks. She can bounce around on the balls of her feet. But, she's got that hands high guard, elbows tucked to protect the body. She throws those nice technical jabs and good 1-2s, very good combinations. Always brings her head back, always brings her hands back to her head, to her chin. So, Alexa Grasso, she wins a lot of fights, by decision, but she uses her boxing, her movement, she's in and out, angles on Macy Barber, you know what I mean? So even countering and hurting Carla Esparza with some good shots. So, yeah, like Alexa Grasso, very good boxer. I've talked about that before, good boxer. And her training partner, got to put her up here, Irene Aldana, one of the most beautiful left hooks in the game. I mean, left hook to the body, to the head. The way she dropped was at Caitlyn Vieira and Yana Kunitskaya. She's got some hands. She just goes in the box and she can really make noise. She's another one with that traditional boxing stance where she steps back and she can counter. And when she's walking you down, she'll double up that left hook. Like I said, she's a fighter that doesn't ignore the body, puts some nice punches together, turns them over beautifully. So, yeah, Irene Aldana's on there. Joanna. Got to put Joanna on this. Surprised she wasn't on this list. She's another one, very, very good work rate, high volume. She's another fighter I love that throws good stiff punches. Even if she's not a knockout puncher, she can do a lot of damage. She'll put damage on your face. You'll know you've been in a fight with Joanna. Even though you go to the cards, you've been in a fight because she's turning over beautiful combinations. Nice combinations. She can fight southpaw. Good stiff jab, she'll keep you on the end of that jab like she did Jessica Andrade. Good 1-2, just basic 1-2, just all around fun. Even watching her on the mitts, you can tell like she can measure range, and she's always using those feints. So yeah, definitely have to have Joanna on there. I put Rose on my list. Another one, Caitlyn Chicago. Definitely have to have Caitlyn Chicago. I mean, a lot of the things Caitlyn does that beats a lot of these fighters is because they don't study boxing like her. I mean, I've seen her watching like some old boxing clips. So, I know she's taken from the old heads and she's transitioned it into MMA in a way that they don't even understand, even like over Rose. You know what I mean? Like, it may not be as well-rounded as what Rose does, but it's working for her. That's why she's beat so many fighters on the cards with just this particular style, right? Caitlyn Chicago is very educated with boxing, So that's why she's able to kind of fall with that right hand like she does and just step out and pivot back to an angle and then, just kind of repeat that. And she throws those little flurries, may not hurt, but, she's throwing nice flurries and then she's stepping in and out. Yeah, she makes it work for her. She's got that boxing cardio as well. She can go 3 rounds, 5 rounds. She has the IQ, it's baffled a lot of girls. Even like somebody like I thought Viviana Rujo, she got worked. Viviana Rujo, I think, has a very beautiful jab, but Caitlyn Chicago, just dismantled her. Or not dismantled her, but, just outworked her. So, yeah, Caitlyn's on there. Another one I'd have on there, GDR. Yeah, GDR. I told y'all, yeah, she'd definitely be on my list, GDR. Holly Holm. Yeah, I put Holly Holm on there. Yeah, I put Valentina Shevchenko. Yeah, Valentina Shevchenko's on there. But this is one, like I said, they forgot. Rocky Pennington. Definitely got to put Rocky Pennington. She's a good dirty boxer and a good outside boxer, mid-range boxer. Last couple fights, the way she was able to finish Macy Chase on. Beautiful jabs, head off the line. She steps down, body, head, right hand. Body, head, right hand, left hook. Aspen Lad, like I said, double jabbing her to the head, hitting her to the body. Then cracking her with the right hand, just measuring well. That's why I was like, Aspen Lad is not a boxer. She's getting boxed out right here, So, yeah, Rocky Pennington is definitely one that I had to put on that list. I think as she gets older, she's really getting better with it, too, So, yeah, that's my list. Molly Mccann, Alexa Grasso, Irene Aldana, Joanna, Rose, Caitlyn Chicago, GDR, Holly Holm, Valentina Shevchenko, and Rocky Pennington. That's 10, right? Yeah, so those are the fighters I would look at. Shout out to the other website that, was trying to, put together a list. But if you really want to look at the fundamentals of boxing, study those fighters that I name and, and study boxing, then, yeah, that'll give you an idea who's really going in there with the fundamentals of boxing, because Andrade and like I said, Serrano's not UFC. Whaley, not so much. And Amanda Nunez, I think she's more just an MMA striker. Like, I think there's still some things she neglects. That's why she got beat the way she did against Juliana Pena. She didn't know how to reverse what was happening there and counter the jab. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's my list, guys. But let me know what y'all think of my list. Let me know what you think of the other list, too, though.